Hey everybody, Craig here. I wanted to do a video on a really tragic situation I heard about recently. Um, and I sent some messages to some friends of this family because as an attorney, I don't want it to look like I'm reaching out to people, but I really felt it was important that the family know what they can do under the tragic circumstances of what happened. So here's what happened. Within the last week or two, a mother and two of her children, I believe one of the children is 16 and the other one, I'm not sure, is younger or older, were driving, and they have a large family like me. I don't know, maybe more kids, maybe 10 or 11 kids. And so the mom, how did it work? They were driving their car, and I think mom had been up late or something, and so the 16-year-old, I'm assuming maybe had a driver's permit, I'm not sure, was driving the vehicle, and then her other child was in the back seat of the car. And apparently, while they were driving, the 16-year-old who was driving crossed the center line, and they hit head on with a semi, and as you can imagine, no one in the car survived. Tragic, tragic situation. They had young children. And I heard about it because I don't know these people myself, but I know a lot of people who know them. And so I had seen it going around on Facebook. Yeah, what a sad situation. But in the midst of all that, I want, if you're ever in that unfortunate situation, or if you know someone in that situation, I just want you to understand what your rights might be under your auto insurance policy. So I'm assuming this family had auto insurance, and I'm assuming they had insurance on this vehicle. Assuming the facts are, as I understand it, where the son who was driving just simply lost control, maybe fell asleep, maybe just whatever. But crash was his fault. He crossed in front of the semi, and the mother, or I should say probably her husband, would have a claim against their deceased son who was driving, and the estate of the child that was in the back seat, which might also probably be the father, would also have a claim against the son who is driving, and those would be wrongful death claims. If there was any evidence that anyone survived the crash for a moment of time before they passed away, there may also be a survival claim. Survival claim means if they experience any pain and suffering, any actual awareness of pain and suffering prior to their death, there would actually be a claim for whatever they suffered between the moment of the crash and their death. That would be called a survival claim. That would be, in most states, a claim brought by the estate. So someone would have to bring and open an estate and pursue that claim. There would also be a wrongful death claim on behalf of the mother and the other child who was in the vehicle. And wrongful death claims are statutory in most states, so it depends a great deal on which state you're in terms of who can bring the claim. Like, for example, in Wisconsin, either the estate or, I believe, a surviving spouse or surviving parent could bring the wrongful death claim. In Iowa, I believe wrongful death claims are brought only by an estate, so you'd have to open a probate, have a personal representative appointed. They would pursue the wrongful death claim. I believe in Minnesota it's referred to as a trustee. But the result, the purpose is the same: to pursue losses caused by the untimely death of someone as a result of someone else's negligence. So in this case, the negligence is presumably the 16-year-old driver of the car is the responsible party. as a driver of the car, he would be entitled to insurance coverage under the family's auto policy, assuming it wasn't his car. Whoever owned the car and insured the car, there would be insurance coverage for the driver that would provide coverage for the wrongful death claim and probably the survivor claim if there happens to be any. If God willing, it was basically immediate death, then there wouldn't be a survival claim. It would be a wrongful death claim, and the insurance on the vehicle would cover that person. In Iowa, there may be an exclusion in that auto policy that excludes coverage for members of the family. I've seen that come up in other cases. It's not something that you could do in Wisconsin, but then there's other workarounds that you bypass that and still get insurance coverage. So to avoid getting too complicated, as a practical matter, whatever auto insurance was on the car that was involved in the crash should provide coverage for the driver of that vehicle against anyone who was killed in that crash other than him or herself. You would not be able to make a claim on behalf of the person who caused the crash. It would have to be passengers in the vehicle who would make that claim. And that would be called a wrongful death claim. And it's something that, in a tragic situation like this, it may be understandable why family may not want or may not even know that they'd have a claim under these circumstances. But that's why you have auto insurance. That's why we carry insurance. That's why I stress the importance of having insurance on your vehicles, knowing what those limits are, making sure you have enough insurance coverage to provide for your family in the event something tragic like this happens. No one wants these tragedies to happen, but when they do happen, this is where auto insurance really becomes important. That's why I preach so much about auto insurance. So if you're in that situation or you know someone in that situation, maybe just when the time is right, ask them if they've made a claim against the insurance policy for wrongful death. They may not have even thought about it, may not have even notified their insurance company, but it's really important that they do so because there probably is coverage for the passengers in the vehicle under those circumstances, and it would be horrible if in the midst of that tragedy the family didn't even get to enjoy the benefits of the insurance that they had paid for. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I want to make sure that people understand what their options are when these kinds of tragic things happen. And also, it's a good opportunity, good excuse to talk to your insurance agent and find out what you actually have for insurance coverage. What would you have? Ask them about this very situation. How much insurance limits would we have? And maybe talk to them about possibly increasing your insurance limits because you just want to make sure you have enough insurance to cover your family members if something tragic like this should happen. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching this video. Reach out to me if you have questions or anything about that, or if any of it's not clear, you can leave a comment and I'll try and clarify it. But I hope that was helpful. I appreciate you watching, and until next time, everyone, have a good one.